What's good, YouTube? All praises to the Most High, YAHUAH, and all praises to YAHUSHA, the one that lived for us and died for us and lived for us again and is currently living right now, waiting on his time to come back down. And in layman's terms, crash out on everybody that goes against him. I don't want to be a part of that crowd. And if you're new to the channel, pull up, pull up, pull up. Have a seat, have a seat. And let's just have some general conversation about your relationship with the Most High and your relationship with this world and what's going on out here. Man, I done seen, eesh. Now, I be on these YouTube streets, as they call it, the YouTube streets. You know, more so looking at different topics and different trends that are going on, and I noticed a trend of immorality. Of course, it's always been a big trend of immorality, but man, the immorality is getting out of control now. You know, and let's quicken this RUACH Hokudesh. Let's quicken it. If you like the video, go ahead and like it. Watch the whole video before you like the video, though. Like, I'm at least do y'all that solid before I give, like, speak about the commentary I have and my insight on what I feel is going on. And, feel free to hop in the chat, hop in the comment section, and have a conversation. Let's have a conversation. But now, let's have an uncomfortable conversation about pretty much throwing your morals away for pleasure, because that's what most people do. They throw their morals away for pleasure, and as we see throughout the YouTube streets, a lot of people are ego and pleasure. My fault, ego and pleasure, because that's where this is lead to. There's a lot of vanity out here, a lot of egos getting riled up, a lot of depression, desperation, and more so, I see it like this, because I can speak from the word of the Most High, which I will do, but I also want to just give my commentary on the stuff that I see going on in the YouTube streets, and I ain't really gonna be, like I said, I'm not really the gossip type. I don't like to gossip, okay? So I more so like to talk about the behavior of popular people, or people that are in their bag, and how they mess up their bag, and then not, kind of giving in to their foolish pleasure, because that's what it is. It's giving in to your foolish pleasure out here. Like, that's what most people are doing. They not really locked in spiritually. Like, okay, so I have this insight where you can be a competent fool. And there's a lot of competent fools out here. I was one of them. I'm not gonna hold you. But I've learned my lesson. Like I've learned my lesson over time, of course. But it seems that some people don't seem to want to learn their lesson. And when you don't learn your lesson about how you manage your endeavors, like especially if you're financially well off. I noticed that a lot of people when they get financially well off, they leave moral ground altogether. It ain't no moral high ground no more. It's just it's either you have morals or you don't. And then most people, when they're well off, they seem to lose all of their morals, like their moral compass and everything. And even to the point to where I noticed that these people you know, look down on others sometimes because they have an ego or a lot of arrogance, which, I mean, I guess you could say arrogance or confidence is earned, but the most I don't care about our confidence or our arrogance. Matter of fact, he humbles those that are arrogant. Shoot, he humbled me, and I'm not even that. I wasn't even that as arrogant as I see others. However, I could be wrong. Like most people might think that I'm arrogant sometimes, and that's fine. But I'm more so like I'm still I still have a moral compass though. Like a lot of people seem to lose their morals when they get up in rank or get up in stature, maybe when they get up in their finances or whatever the case may be. And I'm not and yeah, I am judging. Like I judge. Like who doesn't judge? Just because just because I call you good, is that not a judgment? If I call somebody good, is that not a judgment? And so when people say they don't judge, that's a fallacy. If you call rather you call somebody bad or good, it's still a judgment. If the Most High came down right now and judged me as bad or good, it's a judgment. Though He discerns our hearts, it's a judgment. And most people like to say they don't judge. I don't lie to myself like that. And most people like to lie to themselves when they say, "Oh, I don't judge," or if you didn't judge, you would give everybody a chance. Like for a woman, prime example, they say they don't judge, but it's a lie because a lot of times when a woman doesn't choose somebody that they want to help out or be a helpmate to, it's because they made a judgment. The judgment was that individual wasn't worthy. Same with males towards females. Like when we judge a woman based on her character, like we judge. And so when people say, "Oh, I don't judge," or "God know my heart," and this and that, you lied. Stop. Stop selling yourself that dream. Everybody be selling themselves a dream when they say they don't judge. And I'm here to correct individuals. I discern. Now I might discern and I might not condemn you, but I am judging. Yes, and all judgment is good judgment, whether it's bad or good. But all judgment is good judgment because judgment keeps us secure. It keeps boundaries. When you judge something, as matter of fact, when you take a person's actions that you don't align with, that's a judgment in itself. You don't want to be around negative actions or turmoil, and so you judge that situation as, okay, boom, I'm gonna stay away from over there because because the actions are unsavory or whatever the case may be. And when I hear people say that they don't judge somebody or I'm no better than nobody else, so I don't judge. No, I'm no better than nobody else, but I still judge. Like, you have to judge to have boundaries. Like, there is no way around judgment, whether it come from others, whether it come from you, but just learn how to accept the fact that you do judge, because people like to use all these flowery words and and corrupt the meaning and take away accountability, because that's what most people do. When you say I don't judge, you just basically trying to take away accountability for judging. And I'm not saying that I'm not guilty of it. I've done it. I still do it. Like, well, as far as judging goes, I still judge. Now I'm accountable for, like, cause I used to be that person that be like, I don't judge, and that's not true. Because if I call a person good, that's still a judgment. Just because it's acceptable, because that's what people do. Like, they it does people don't call it judgment when you're making a good judgment or a good criticism. But then when you give a person a negative critique, then they want to classify it as you're judging me, or you think that you're better, or and that's not the case. The case is, if I critically said that, oh, this is really good, or that's very crafty, or you're very intelligent, are those not judgments? And do you people ask yourself that question when you make statements? All that to say this though, because I done seen the, the, the craziness on YouTube about what I see going on as far as people getting their bag and getting attacked by the opposite sex. Now, y'all know who I'm talking about, and I do have my opinion on it. I have an opinion, or a judgment, or a discernment, whatever you want to call it. But one, I don't feel like people should be really attacking them like that to begin with, or even speaking negatively about them as far as that goes, because, and this is a general conversation, because everybody's gonna be held accountable on the day of judgment anyway. Everybody is. Like, I don't know not one person that has not endeavored in sexual deviancy, or my fault, deviancy, or out here trying to please their flesh. And that's basically what it is. Like, and people got this view on it, like they're better than, or like they haven't done it, or like they're not predatory. Like, some of y'all are the most predatory people out here, like males and females. I don't care who it is. There's people that are in that category out here that and not necessarily, and it's not necessarily not a natural thing. It's natural. Most people are predatory. When you're searching for a job or when you're searching for income or when you get to a place of desperation, you're naturally predatory. When you're matter of fact, when you looking for the next restaurant to eat at, is that not predatory? now, now people might take it out of context, but it's a similar thing. Like when you go out to search for something to eat, or you're calculating, and matter of fact, you have to get your tool, the cash, and then you have to purchase it, right? Which is like but you're accomplishing a predatory act to begin with. Hunter gatherer. That that I mean, everything is predatory if you think about it. But most people don't look at it that way. Now there's misconduct, or like when I say misconduct, I mean like it has a negative connotation. So like, all right, there's perversion of predatory behavior. Like there's perversion, and then uh there's just regular hunter gatherer action. And most people try not to look at it. They want to look at it in a negative light. But I'm here to open your eyes. Like I said, everybody got a pattern. Everybody. I done seen, like, and I done sat here and I done talked about the pattern I seen with people and how your life is on either a high rise, like going up on an incline, or a decline. This stuff it's just a natural course of life. And then let's, let's not even, like, let's take it, and then let's take it from a biblical aspect. For the most part, when you seek something, when you're seeking something, no matter what your intention is, whether it's a bad intention or a good intention, it's still predatory. Just like when people say that something's either bad or good, that's still a judgment. Like, and most people don't wake up, don't want to wake up. Wake up. People are, everybody's predatory, males and females. It's your intention that makes it perverse. Like, and most people don't get it. Like, matter of fact, when you view, just put it like this: when you view somebody's actions or deed in a negative light, regardless of, because most people view things in a negative light depending on their bias of that individual. I'm an objective observer, and I observe males and females, and most people don't ever really call out the predatory behavior of a woman, but they're quick to call out the predatory behavior of a man. And just because, you know, a woman is like a snare in a trap, because that's the difference between men are overtly predatory, women are covertly predatory, and they like to hide their intention. And most people like to hide their intention to begin with. But me being so straightforward, I kind of call out everything that I see based on just what it is. And most people have a tendency to have a holier than thou complex. I don't have none of that. Like, I'm just as human as everybody else. As a matter of fact, I'm just as predatory as everybody else. And you can take that and pervert it, or you can look at it the way that the word means. Because most people don't look at stuff the way that it actually is. You know, they put the emotions and the feelings behind it, like whether it's a negative or a positive. Because sometimes it's a positive thing when you're trying to catch a criminal. When a police officer is trying to catch a criminal, it's predatory behavior. Matter of fact, it's stalkerish, close to stalkerish. Like when FBI agents are peering into your life and uh, taking account for everything that you have done. Is that not predatory behavior or stalkerish behavior? But we just don't call it that because it's the CIA or the FBI or all them. Those are like, if like, do y'all not see what I see out here? Like, when you start basing this stuff as A and B, or not even that, just one and two. Everybody has two choices out here. Everybody and everything has only two choices. And it's either right choice or wrong choice. Good choice, bad choice. And the moment you narrow your view to simplicity, your life goes a lot easier. Am I going to do this today? Like, instead of complicating everything or making everything either a big deal or, you know, just my observation, but, when people make these allegations and accusations about individuals, once again, I'm not about the gossip. I'm about the action itself and the observation of the things going on around the action. That's it. I'm observing. And when I observe this stuff, I feel like it's not just. The Most High says he looks for a just balance or a just weight. And that's in Proverbs, if you don't know. But when you're looking for a just or balanced weight, what that means is right is right, wrong is wrong. Now, granted, both actions are wrong if we're gonna bring it to reality. Promiscuous behavior on either end is wrong. Fornicating is wrong. Simply, fornicating is wrong. Adultery, wrong. Bad choice, poor choice. Both of them are poor choices. Matter of fact, both of them have an adverse effect on your health depending on who you are messing with and whether or not it's a committed thing or not. Those things play a part. And then on top of it, most people don't look at the reality of it. The reality of it is people want to endeavor in, deviant behavior, but not really own up to the consequence of the behavior itself. Like, and I'm not saying, like, once again, I'm calling the behavior bad because the behavior is called bad in the book of in the Bible on both ends too. It even tells you not to take your brother into court. That's even in the Bible, and this is for those that believe in the word of the Most High. Like it tells you to allow the Most High to handle all your battles, whatever your battles are. However, I had a discernment about like you know the action performed about him trying to get rid of like just trying to get rid of it altogether as quickly as he possibly can. I had that, I had a discernment about it, and I was like, is my discernment valid? Like, is it really truly valid? Because you know, people are gonna do what they gonna do. Everybody like that woman was an adult. That man is an adult. Now it might be a significant age gap, but they're adults. So when you see stuff so when people see stuff like that and they trying to justify, crucifying one party but not the other, two consenting adults are they're you feel me? They're consenting. And then on top of it, they're both deviant. One has a OF account. That that doesn't count as sexual deviance. And so when I see stuff like this, or when I see people speaking on it, and they don't just say what everything really is, both were predatory. Seriously. No, my fault. One was genuine. I can't give it that much. One was genuine. One was just genuinely trying to have fun. He was comfortable. He was just trying to be comfortable, be himself, and you know, getting too comfortable out here when you got a big red target on your back, not gonna look, it's not gonna look too pretty later on. So that's why you do have to be careful. However, I don't think we looking at this in a balanced way. It's completely lopsided when I see that, that particular situation in itself, which is the case of a larger platform, and then you got the OF, both, and then both parties are entitled to pretty much have fun because they're adults, both consenting adults. However, one had poor intention. And once again, whether I call somebody bad or good, is still a judgment. If I call you good, you just don't consider it a judgment because it's something you like to hear. But it's not the truth. The Most High said none of us are good to begin with. All of our behaviors are predatory, or or like if you really just sit and think about stuff, I think that people if you sit and think about how people take words and demonize them, because that's what people do. They demonize words. they they don't necessarily actually look at it objectively or look at it with a light heart. They take it serious, and rightfully so. You should take certain stuff serious, but then there are things that you just should not take serious. Like me trying to gossip about somebody's life. I'm if I'm gonna look at their situation, I'm gonna look at it as a learning situation and what can I teach out of it, or what can or give my perspective, because my perspective might be different from your perspective. You feel me? And so yeah, I give all praises to the Most High because He give me the insight to see this stuff. Like I'm not smart out here. Like shoot, I done made some terrible decisions in life. However, I also make decent decisions. I know how to make decent decisions as well. I ain't completely being crazy up out here. when when y'all just 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 like open your mind to the vocabulary being used and the actions being performed behind the vocabulary being used. And then you'll just see that this is all really a normal behavior for everybody. Now, the fact that everybody has perverted the behavior, that's what's wrong. It's the perversion of the behavior. It's the intention behind the behavior. One, like I said, that lifestyle, being in that lifestyle, you gon' it's borderline criminal. I, it's sinful, so it's borderline criminal. And so you gotta accept what come with that lifestyle, whether it's the one male or the female. Either way it go. And shoot, just think about yeah, we got undercover bullcrap going on with normal people. He just on a bigger platform, and so everybody want to demonize him. But truly, like you can't really demonize two consenting adults. Like if you want to demonize anything, it's the behavior itself. It's sinful. You're not married. You're out here being promiscuous. Like that's really it. Like both parties are wrong. And then I can't even say one is more wrong than the other. Because everybody be giving that promiscuous behavior a pass. I don't give it a pass. I didn't give it a pass for myself. Like once I think about it, just because it feels good don't mean it's a good thing. It just means that got to get it in line, get it in order. Like, yeah, get married, be settled down. Like, stop being out here and then on top of it, I look at it like this: when people had those kind of got that kind of bag on them, or you do got to be careful out here about how you move. Point blank, like you got to be careful out here. And then, I'm not. If anything, I'm gonna demonize both of them, like objectively. Like I can't sit here and judge one and not the other. Like, yeah, because we do it to women all the time. Like when they put themselves in poor situations, we do it to them, and they get mad at us for victim shaming or victim blaming. They get mad. but But at the same time, is everybody really looking at it objectively, or even from a realistic standpoint? Like they done dramatized the standpoint, meaning predatorial behavior is predatorial behavior is on both sides. It's not on just one side. And then judgment, like people do judge, whether it's bad or good. Just because you call a spade like when you call a spade, that's a judgment. Now, I don't condemn, and I don't necessarily agree with either one of these points of views. I'm just giving you a genuine outlook on both sides of the spectrum, the males and the females. You know, look at this stuff with a clear head. Take your emotions out of it. And, because one, he's still going to be successful regardless of what's going on. And then, unless they just catch him up on something crazy. And then, as far as that lady go, that situation, like, that's going to fizzle out. About by next month, we'll be talking about something else serious that done happened. And then it's gonna be back on the emotional roller coaster with everybody, cause everybody gets on the emotional roller coaster and don't like to look at things in with a just weight or just eyesight. I ain't saying that I'm not supposed to be passionate about these situations, but if you're gonna be passionate about anything, be passionate about righteousness, just being righteous altogether, or be passionate about you know your mission. You don't have to gossip about them, like because shoot, you don't really have to give like, cause I don't even really look at it in a negative light like everybody else do right now. And the only reason is because I done had a humbling experience. And so me being in a humble space in life, since my space is so humbled right now, one, I could look at it with a oh, that's what he get. He too old to be acting like that. Da 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 da. But you got women out here that are too old to be acting the way they acting too. So, and they do the same stuff. Matter of fact, I think they're worse than men sometimes, and that's only sometimes. Granted, I do know that a lot of our situation out here, a lot of our situation out here is just people are emotional because of they got clouded judgment, like clouded, like they're not looking at it for the whole of it. They're only looking at it for what they want to see it for or from their own traumatized experience. And I done been so traumatized that shit. I don't have any emotions towards it anymore. Like it's like, man, it's just another day, another day. You feel me? Like when we get into these grand debates about males and females and their actions and predatory behavior and all that kind of stuff, this is like it's just a it's just another way to gossip. And then Matter of fact, gossiping about people or just talking about the person in general without just talking about just the behavior itself, you know, that's stuff you want to try to kind of tread lightly on. Now we all know who I'm talking about, but let's say if we didn't. Now that guy's popular, and that lady, well, I never knew who she was until that situation. So I mean, most people, like when you think about it, and they say, "Oh, it's a gotcha moment," because he did what he did with somebody like super young, but I don't fault him for wanting to have fun in his carnality. Nah, that's his carnality, or the fact that he just not a valid Christian. He don't follow the teachings of the word like that. Like, because I feel like it's wrong on both ends. Honestly, it's just wrong on both ends. So either way it go, like, yeah, I ain't giving neither one of them a pass. Both of them got, like, but in you gotta look at it in a sense of normality. Like, look at it you gotta look at stuff in a sense of normality. Don't look at this stuff and be so emotional about one side because you biased. Because that's mainly what people do or doing, being biased. I'm not biased on one end or the other of the spectrum because one, I don't know neither one of them. And then two, like now I can look at the situation and tell that she was more insidious than he was. Like he was just comfortable and just trying to have a good time. She wasn't. She was trying to get to that bag. That's what she was doing. But at the same time, like both actions, like if you want to get down to it anyway, you just shouldn't be fornicating to begin with. And that's if we looking at it just from a regular standpoint. I mean, a biblical standpoint, my fault, because and then some people not even gonna look at fornicating as wrong. Most people don't even look at fornicating as wrong, and that's why they be trying to give it a pass or busting them down like and giving it a pass. I don't even give myself a pass. Like even when I was doing that, I didn't give myself a pass. I knew I was supposed to get married. That's I ended up married for because I ain't want to be doing that. It's just people out here, they got a skewed view. Learn how to normalize your eyesight about this stuff out here. Don't get too emotional about it. Cause next month this ain't even gonna be no story. Next month it's gonna be something else. Or you gonna have somebody saying something else outrageous, or somebody gonna get emotional about something else. And of course, I'm entertained, but when I give y'all my observation about one of the biggest YouTubers or just situational, I'm not giving it to you to gossip about how they life are because both of them was wrong. And that's the honest view of it. The honest view was both parties was wrong. Both parties they weren't married. Neither of them was intentional. And if I'm looking at it from a biblical standpoint, now if you want to look at it from the worldly standpoint, I guess you could say one was more wrong than the other, but they were both still wrong. And then, like I said, she was covertly predatory. He was overtly predatory. And all behavior, 9 times out of 10, when you're seeking an intentional target, it's predatory. Whether you're targeting finances, whether you're targeting customers, whether you're targeting a criminal, it's all predatory. All of it. The whole, all of it. So when people use the word predatory and try to put a negative connotation on it, it doesn't change the meaning of the word. Y'all just put emotion behind the term and pervert it. And 9 times out of 10 you put a negative emotion behind it, so you pervert the term. But predatory is predatory, whether it's in a good way or a bad way. Just like whether I call you bad or good, it's still a judgment. Just because I called you good doesn't mean it wasn't a judgment. It's just one you're willing to accept. And with that, if you have made it this far to the end of the video, I want y'all to hit that like button, leave a comment down below, say what's up to your boy. You know, thumbs up that video, share the video, and then also think about what I'm saying. Yeah, I didn't go all off into the Bible, but I'm just giving general commentary on that situation. Because like I said, I don't like to gossip. Don't. However, I can't speak on the situation itself without attacking either individual, and just look at the bad on this side, the bad on that side, and what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Like, and everything is all love. It's all love. Like, I'm not, like I said, I ain't no better than nobody else. I just call everything like I see it. I'm straightforward. So I ain't about to put candy in your ear or make one situation lighter than the other because I have a bias. I'm a male, and I can still see that the situation in itself, if you believe in the word of the Most High, is wrong. And this is just my commentary on that whole situation as far as the big YouTuber goes and the OF goes. Big YouTuber and OF. I ain't about to call that man and persecute that man, and I'm not gonna persecute the woman. They're just both acting out in their behavior, which, especially if you in that kind of life, is common. So, you know, you shouldn't put too much emotion behind it. People shouldn't put too much emotion behind what they consider a big deal. People should be tending to their own families, building their relationships with the Most High, building their relationships with whoever it is that that they got a husband with, or like, a woman should be tending to her husband and staying out of that man's business, or go be a helpmate to somebody. And then for you men, like, if you got one, or if you know one within the vicinity that has an eye for you, ain't gonna do what they gonna do, but I would suggest getting married before you end up like our big YouTuber friend. Seriously. Because it's all predatory. Everything. Not one thing that we do is not predatory. Now, rather you put a good connotation on it or a negative connotation on it. It's up to you. I'm just letting you know. It's all love. Everything's all love. And it's all praises to the Most High that I'm able to see things this way. And it's probably because I don't have the energy to be emotional about something that has nothing to do with me. In my own situation, I can give my commentary and give you a solution, but that's about it. Yeah, that's it. You're not gonna get no more than that. Yeah, but it's been fun talking to y'all. And like I said, if you got your opinion, give me your insight. I'm willing to listen. And, I'm willing to go back and forth with the comments if you feel like it. But, I want y'all to enjoy the rest of y'all day. Be blessed. And give all praises to the Most High, YAHUAH. And give all praises to YAHUSHA, the one that's living for us right now. And he gonna come down here. So I would suggest taking our own actions into account before he comes taking our actions into account, because he's going to come taking our actions into account, and we're going to have to be accountable. So, I read it. I'm just sharing my insight on that situation. And like I said, I don't really want to more. I'll stay away from the gossip and more so speak objectively without my emotional biases being in the way. It's all love. And trust me, I'm very passionate. But I'm telling y'all the truth. Pay attention.